I'm from Kilgore, Texas, and I belong to the International Ladies Garment Workers Union. We also make clothes in Tennessee, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, in 37 states all over this country. That's why we ask you to look for the union label. When the work's done here in America, we get our share. And I don't have to tell you, we need it. Look for the union label when you are buying a coat, dress, or blouse. Remember somewhere our union sewing, our wages going to feed the kids. And from the house we work hard, but who's complaining? Thanks to the ILT we're paying our way. So always look for the union label. It says we're able to make it in USA.
60 Minutes, a CBS News weekly magazine, will continue.
Sunday, look what happened to country star Jerry Reed. On his way to his new series, Concrete Cowboys, he's paid a call on Alice. Then, on the Jeffersons, a touching look at Louise as she grows up. Then Trapper plays matchmaker for Gonzo and a student nurse. But things get complicated. Sunday, all starting at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Tonight on CBS.
One day, your biggest savings problem was as simple as keeping your piggy bank hidden from your brother Tom.
Oh, Tom.
Next thing you know, it's as complicated as finding ways to manage your money after paying your Uncle Sam. Which is why, right from the start, you need a bank like Mercantile. A substantial banking organization you'll never outgrow, no matter how much your needs grow. Mercantile Bank and Trust. All the bank you'll ever need.
A closer look at how cold hurts beginning Monday.
Plymouth Reliant K, the 1981 Motor Trend Car of the Year, takes on Citation in a test of style, ride, and drive. 100 GM owners did the judging.
I was very much impressed with the design of the Reliant.
The Reliant K was a very smooth ride.
I could put more people in the Reliant K.
Reliant K was judged superior overall to Citation, 70-30. And with 4-speed stick, Reliant has better gas mileage.
The Reliant K is a classy car.
With 7% off the base sticker price, this Reliant Coupe is $820 less than Citation.
Billy the Kid, Wyatt Earp, Jesse James.
Can you tell the good guys from the bad guys? This announcement in your Sunday paper and the TV guide introduces the Old West from Time Life Books. America's greatest adventure. Get the first book, The Gunfighters, free for 10 days. Just mail in this card. If you make that W into a bar W, you'll get an unframed set of 6 Old West prints, free with The Gunfighters. Look in your Sunday paper and TV guide.
When it comes to gambling, everyone wants to beat the house. There are thousands of gamblers in this country who think they have a surefire system to beat the system, to win at roulette, blackjack, or craps. And the casinos welcome them, because they know the systems don't work. But we found one man with a system so good, the casinos won't let him play. And he's not your Damon Runyon type gambler. He's a graduate of Yale and Harvard Business School, and a former top executive of a stock exchange.
His name is Ken Houston, and he's made a fortune playing blackjack with an almost complete certainty of winning, because he has a mathematical advantage over the house. He is what is known in casinos as a card counter.
If I were to play over a period of a month, and I played maybe 2 sessions a day and got in maybe 500 hours of total play, at that point then the statistics should tend to come out to where they would be, what we call expected value, and my chance of winning after 500 hours of play is probably as high as 99%.
Blackjack is a fairly simple game. Aces count 1 or 11, picture cards count 10, all other cards count their face value. To win, you have to get closer to 21 points than the dealer without going over 21. Because that's about all I knew about the game, I had to ask Houston how card counting gives him an advantage. He explained that it lets him know when the cards remaining in the deck are good for him and when they're good for the dealer.
One reason is when there are a lot of little cards out of the deck, that means the deck is unduly rich in these kinds of cards, the high cards, such as these. The most common hand, a blackjack, pays the player 3 to 2, Whereas if the player has a 2-unit bet out and the house gets a blackjack, he only loses 2 units. That's one of the reasons. The other is that the house must hit until it has a total of 17. So if the dealer has a 16, for example, and we know there are a lot of high cards, the player can stand and force the house to hit and therefore go over. +4, no aces. It's really no advantage yet because it's so
When the cards favor the dealer, Ken bets the minimum. When the cards favor him, he bets big. He also knows when to take advantage of special rules allowing him to double his bet or split his cards and play 2 hands. He doesn't memorize the cards as they fall. He keeps a running count.
What I'm going to do, Ken, is to try to figure out what it is you do. 1 deck of cards, honest deck. I'm going to hide the top one. You haven't seen it. I'm going to turn the others over as fast as I can, and then see what you do and see if you know what that hidden card is.
Okay, Harry, we'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Even, +2, even. -2, even. +4, 5, 6, 7. +1, -2, -4, -2, even. +2, -1, 2, 3, 6, -3, -6, -2, -2, even. +2, 6, even. -1, -7, -1, even. +3, 4, 5, 6, 7. +1. Okay, it should be a 7 because it's a +1 valued card. What I do is assign a point value for the cards. A 2 is +2, 3 +2, 4 +3, 5 +4, 6 +2, 7 +1, 8 is 0, 9 is -2 because it's a bad card for the player. 10s and pictures are -3, and aces I count separately by moving my foot.
I thought you were nervous.
Okay. Well, sometimes I am when I'm playing. So when you got all through with all 51 cards, my count was -1, and I knew all 4 aces were played. So the last card had to be a +1 card, and the only +1 valued card in the deck was a 7.
Single-deck games are rare in casinos, but Ken has no trouble keeping his count in 2, 4, or even 6-deck games. We got a chance to watch him in action at a match set up for him at Vegas World. It was not a penny-ante game. Ken put $20,000 on the table for chips.
You got 1, 3 is 4.
2, 3, 4.
Keep your eyes on the white ones. They're worth $500 each.
Here we go.
Ken was the only player, but because he's the Reggie Jackson of Blackjack, a crowd gathered to watch. On this hand, Ken bet $250, got a blackjack, and won $375.
This is it.
This time, with the deck favorable, Ken bet $1,200, was able to double his bet, and won $2,400.
You only make that play when it's very rich. It's hard work, it's tiring, it's fatiguing, and if you make errors, basically you've given up your edge, because the edge that I have over the house is so slim anyway. It's only about 1.5%.
But he did his share of losing, too. On this hand, he bet $200 and went over 21. Ken won more than he lost, and the stacks of $500 chips kept getting bigger. Finally, after about 2 hours, he quit. A big winner.
Let's call it 6,000 even. Yeah. You wanna bet the 6 to 1 hand?
I'm not a gambler, Bob. You know that.
No one starts out aiming to be a full-time blackjack player. 6 years ago, at the age of 39, Ken was senior vice president of the Pacific Stock Exchange. Divorced from his wife, separated from his children, he got restless. He heard about card counting, checked out the mathematics involved, and decided it was sound. So he took off his necktie and started a whole new life. It's been a huge success.
I guess I could say I'm almost financially independent, or I guess I am. So that if I wanted to stop and just kick back, I guess I could. It's been a really fine 5 years.
You've made enough to live on the rest of your life?
Yeah,
with investment.
I could now retire, yeah.
It's a good thing he can afford to retire, because American casinos are trying very hard to get him to do that. On the Strip in Las Vegas, the regulars, the owners, the workers, the players, mostly know each other. They mostly know Ken Houston. They like him. They like to have a drink with him. He's welcome in their places. just as long as he doesn't try to play blackjack. The casinos keep a book on players that are banned from their tables. In the book are the names and pictures of cheaters, known troublemakers, and card counters, including Ken. This film, shot with a hidden camera, shows what usually happens when Ken tries to play blackjack in Las Vegas. He is told, politely but very firmly, to leave.
We do not want your business. I'm sorry? We do not want your business. Good. He's the boss. Okay. Thank you. Good night. Okay.
We decided to find out why most casinos refuse to let him play.
Lights on are the camera.
Okay.
Turn them off, please.
Okay.
Turn them off.
Okay. Another casino had an answer for us, but it didn't make much sense.
Why? What's your philosophy on it?
Well, it's just house policy. They're allowed to take off, ask somebody to leave if we don't want them to play.
But he's not cheating.
Well, nobody says they do. It's just policy.
But is it on the basis that if he plays here, or men who play like he do, that they will consistently win from you?
No, it's got nothing to do with it. If we don't want a player to play, he doesn't get to play. No, but it has nothing to do with the individual.
He's an orderly man.
Oh, I said it has nothing to do with the individual.
But it's just you don't want counters.
Oh, it's got nothing to do with it.
Bannings don't stop him completely, however. One night he put on a disguise and took 60 Minutes researcher Lucy Spiegel, who had never played blackjack before, into several casinos. Again, using a hidden camera, we watched them play for 4 hours. Ken won about $80. Lucy won more than $1,000.
I'm going to double again. That's it. I made it for the night. Shall I give you the... Do you want to give me 100 chips, or shall I just take them all?
She played with his money, and he took her winnings. Because before they started out, he taught her signals on how much to bet.
$25 chips tonight. So this means bet 1. This is 2 chips. This is 3 chips, 4 chips, and 5 chips. Your left hand.
And how to play her hands.
And the dealer will have his cards out here. Now, if I go like this means you should take a hit. And you designate a hit by scratching the table. If I put my hand over here, that means you stand. And you do that by sliding your cards under your chip. If I go back here against the rail, that means you should double down or you should split.
He does this often. It eliminates the need for him to play well and bet big, which makes dealers suspicious. There are a few casinos, like Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, that let him play. But they take away his advantage by shuffling the cards so often he can't get a usable count.
I don't even know, really. I haven't been keeping track, but...
That's the minimum I can put in.
Yeah. You can go up to 3,000 if you'd like. That's quite a bit of...
I'll wait a while. I'm more confident.
Now, I have -4, 7, 8, 9. Now, you would stand on that because you have a 20. The 9 and 11 is 20. No, you just go like that. Let's see. I lost my count here.
Bob Stupak, owner of Vegas World, where Ken won the $6,000, insists he does not ban counters.
We have an open-door policy here, and by letting everybody play, we usually wind up with the money.
You're not afraid of counters?
I'm not afraid of counters. There are good counters that can usually win the money, and there are a lot of people that think they are good counters that usually make up the difference.
But even there, dealers started shuffling the deck more often against Ken after we left Las Vegas. Why don't other casinos shuffle more when counters are playing rather than ban them? Normally, a casino has about a 5% advantage over players. The more hands played, the more money it rakes in. So constant shuffling takes up valuable time. When Atlantic City's casinos first opened, Ken was welcomed, but that didn't last.
We beat him for $145,000 in January, and at that point, Resorts International then asked for permission to prevent what they called, quote, professional card counters from playing. The commission agreed. We were ultimately reinstated in December. After 10 days of play, and we did win a fair amount, the casinos and the commission once again prevented us from playing.
So Ken has to use disguises or go to foreign countries to play blackjack his way. He has filed suits against the bannings in both Nevada and New Jersey. But even if he wins, the casinos will just change the rules to take away his edge. He doesn't think there's much of a future in blackjack as a career for himself or anyone else.
Hey, Susie.
He's thinking of starting a third career as a jazz pianist. But he's upset about the way the casinos have treated him.
Basically, I'm just using skill in a casino. I'm not cheating. I'm not doing anything other than trying to use my brain. And the fact that I'm not allowed to play bothers me. It would be as if Bobby Fischer is not allowed to play chess, or Pete Rose isn't allowed to play baseball, or Charles Gorin isn't allowed to play bridge. And I like to play blackjack, and I feel that, in a way, my skill is effectively hampered me in this profession, and it's unusual. It's sort of against the American way.
The song he's playing, it's the old Crosby tune, Pennies from Heaven, of course.
Now Chrysler returns 7% of sticker price when you buy a new Mitsubishi-built Dodge Colt or Plymouth Champ on credit. The $49.88 base sticker price of front-wheel drive Colt and Champ, minus the 7% allowance, is $700 less than the sticker price of a Datsun 310 two-door hatchback and $570 less than Toyota Tercel three-door liftback.
You get 7% on all Chrysler import cars and pickups. Make your best deal and get back $350 to $670. Act now.
Last year, I won more money than ever before.
Tom Watson for E.F. Hutton.
So I talked to E.F. Hutton, and I listened. They showed me how to make my winnings go further, and how to build a nest egg for the future. And more importantly, how to stay ahead of that inflation bogey.
Listen to your E.F. Hutton broker and find out how he can help you.
You'll never know when you'll need the money.
When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
Being a bit of an iconoclast, Andy Rooney doesn't always snap to attention when they play Hail to the Chief. But he did snap to attention this week when the Chief, who has made it obvious he likes being hailed by the Marine Band, made it even more obvious, even before his first press conference, that he doesn't like being hailed by reporters.
Do you think reporting on television is getting too loud? It seems to me reporters are yelling more than they used to.
Mr. Reagan?
Sometimes it seems as though we have too few stories and too many reporters. A reporter has to be a little pushy. Being tall helps in a crowd, too. I enjoyed the coverage of the return of the hostages. I still call them the hostages. But it seemed to me there was an awful lot of yelling.
How long had it been since you had seen all those other people? The last couple of days. Did you know what was going on?
Governor, have you given any thought to...
Reporters are always yelling questions at politicians. Partly that's because politicians often won't sit still for a question. They're moving targets. A reporter with a strong voice has a great advantage over the others. No one can explain how he's going to solve all the world's problems between his front steps and the car door.
I'm not going to make any comment at this situation, at this point, to say anything that might in any way have any influence on anyone. I was just going to... But they report to you like a
Women reporters are often at a disadvantage because they can't yell as loud.
Mr. President, you have about about 300 more delegates than are required for the nomination.
There are a lot of things wrong with loud journalism. For instance, a lot of times the person being yelled at can't hear the question.
Governor, do you have any thoughts on the eve of your inauguration? On the what?
The importance of the spoken word is usually in inverse proportion to how loudly it's spoken. If anyone has anything significant to say, he's not going to yell it. The most important things of all are barely whispered.
The mail this week brought quite a few letters about our story on the non-profit Highland Hospital, owned by Duke University, that was up for sale to a chain of profit-making hospitals. That sale, as we said, has fallen through for the moment, but the story brought several letters like this one. I honestly believe that when the history of mankind is finally written, greed will not be spelled O-P-E-C, but will be spelled this way. But a student at Duke wrote, Duke's main function is educating students. With rising tuition costs, Duke's move to sell off the hospital was appropriate and reasonable. About our story on inventors, a viewer wrote, you ought to do your homework. The transistor was not invented by Bell Labs, but was invented and patented in 1925 by Julius Lilienfeld. To which Bell answers, what Lilienfeld invented is not today's transistor. That was invented, they say, by 3 Bell scientists who won the Nobel Prize for their work. And finally this, those poor inventors, they get so little recognition to begin with, and look at what you did. You put them on opposite the Super Bowl. I'm Dan Rather. We'll be back next week with another edition of 60 Minutes.
Ford calls Escort the world car with better ideas from around the world. Plymouth Horizon's an American car with some pretty good ideas, too. How do they compare? In an independent test, 50 Americans judged. For styling, Horizon won. For driving ease and riding comfort, Horizon won. Horizon was rated superior overall to Escort's world car, 43-7. Guess that makes Horizon the world beater. From Plymouth.
Now with 7% off the sticker price, this Horizon is $920 less than that Escort. But hurry, this is a limited time offer.
Have you ever flown on a plane? You've been in an airport. You know, airports got something so you can talk to people who aren't even there. The public phone. You can make business calls or important calls. Calling from the airport is so convenient. Gives you something to do when there's nothing to do.
All you people in motion, here's a good notion. All over the land, call soon as you can.
I could have done that.